Hi everyone, it's Kelly here and welcome to my channel if this is your first time. Welcome back if you've been before. Today I'm filming a video that is part of a series where I have been talking about the Dewey Decimal System because I am hosting a non-fiction reading challenge this year where we are reading one book from each of the broad classes of Dewey. So we are up to the 400s. I'm going chronologically. You actually don't need to watch these videos chronologically because you can read in any order. You don't have to read from 0 through to 900. So feel free to watch this one first and then go back and watch the others, or if you'd like to, I will link the playlist up in the cards for you and also down in the description. Also down in the description will be a list of all of the books that I've mentioned in this video. Once you get to the end of it, all of the books will be listed down in the description, so if you want to follow up about any particular books, you absolutely can do that with no issue at all. And actually, I do that for all of my videos, so you can always check the description and find a list of all of the books that I have discussed. So as you can imagine, on this channel we talk books, and today we are talking about the 400s in the Dewey Decimal System. So I have with me my trusty Wikipedia page on my iPad that I'm going to be following along. I will link it down below in the description as well, so you can also follow along if you wish. Okay, so the 400s is all about language, and there is a massive chunk of the 400s where it's books about learning different languages. So I don't actually have heaps of books in that realm to show you today. Most of the books that I'm going to show you today are in the 410s, the 420s, and then skip the 490s. So that's what you can expect watching this video today. So let's go through it now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these chronologically, and we'll talk about each sort of section, and then I'll show you books if I've got them to show you. Okay, the first section from the just 400s is language. So this is language, philosophy and theory, international languages. You might find dictionaries, encyclopedias, etc. in this section. You might also find education, research, related topics, groups of people, geographic treatment and biography, all to do with language. So that's what you'll find in that sort of first section of the 400s. In my libraries that I've been going to, they don't have a lot in that sort of section at all. And there's like maybe a couple of books, and then it skips to the 410s, and then there's a few more. So the 410s is about linguistics. So this is where we start kind of like exploring wordplay. What I should say to you as well today is I'm going to be showing you books from a couple of different libraries today, but also I don't have any books in my collection. Well, I probably do, but not on my non-fiction shelves. I've probably got them scattered throughout the house. So I'm actually going to be showing you some books from my husband's collection today because he's a bit of a word nerd. So he's got a few books in that realm. So that's what I'm going to be showing you today. In the 410s, the books I'm showing you are all from libraries, but in the 420s, there's quite a few from my husband's collection. Okay, so 410s is linguistics. We've got things like writing systems, standard forms of language. We've got etymology, dictionaries. We've got phonology and phonetics, grammar. We've got dialectology and historical linguistics, standard usage, which is in brackets prescriptive linguistics, and sign languages. I know for a fact actually that I do have books about linguistics because part of my studies was about that, but I'm not in the habit of showing you textbooks, so that's not where we're going today. All right, so I've got 3 books to show you from the 410s. The first one is called The Rosetta Stone, the story of the decoding of hieroglyphics by Robert Solé and Dominique Valbelle. So as you can imagine, this is all about the Rosetta Stone and how we came to understand what the meaning of those hieroglyphics is, because it was a stone that had, if you remember back to your history lessons from high school, the stone that had 3 languages, I believe, the same message in 3 languages, and that was the key to unlocking the meaning of hieroglyphics. So should be an interesting read if that's your thing. Oh, sorry, I should say the call number is 417.7. Then I've got this one, which very much interests me because I'm on my decolonizing journey, as a lot of us are. This is Decolonizing Language Learning, Decolonizing Research, a critical ethnography study in a Mexican university by Colette Despagne. I apologize because I'm not sure how to pronounce that surname. The call number for this one is 418.007. And, you know, we've talked before on this channel about decolonizing. I recently purchased a book, a couple of months ago, purchased a book about decolonizing museums, and we've talked a little bit about that on this channel as well. So this would be an interesting read if that is the kind of thing that you are kind of on the journey of, and like if you are a language learner, someone who's learning language, or if you are learning, you know, if you are a researcher or someone who's interested in research, then this could be the book for you. Then the last one I've got to show you from this section, 418.02, is just a book about translation, experiences in translation by Umberto Eco, I believe. It's a bit covered up by the sticker, unfortunately, which I've then covered up with washi tape. So this is all about translation. And having recently read Babel, I'll link my video where I gave my review of Babel up in the cards, but where such a massive focus, and actually probably the bit that interested me the most about the book Babel was about the translation aspect of things. So if you are interested in some non-fiction about translation, this could be the book for you. All right, moving on. Let's go on to the 420s. I have quite a few books to show you in this section. So this is about English and Old English languages. So we've got, again, things to do with the writing system. We've got etymology, we've got grammar, we've got things like basically a lot of those same sort of things that we talked about before with the prescriptive linguistics, but specific to English, of course. And then there's a section about Old English as well. So, you know, we're sort of looking at the variances of English and like the standardization of it, and then looking at sort of dialectical stuff as well that relates to English. Okay, quite a few books to show you here. So the first one is 422, Around the World in 80 Words, A Journey Through the English Language, which sounds like a pretty interesting one. The cover is also beautiful. I don't know if you can see, but it has the gold foil, which we love. And on the back it says, from Monte Carlo to Shanghai, Bikini to Samara, Around the World in 80 Words is a whimsical voyage through the far-flung reaches of the English language. The next one I've got is from my husband's collection, and the call number is 423.0207, and it's called The Devil's Dictionary by Ambrose Bierce, which is, I think, about, so it says it's an American classic, but basically it is sort of funny, I guess, definitions of words, maybe often common words. So, for example, education, that which discloses to the wise and disguises from the foolish their lack of understanding. So it's that kind of thing. My husband loves these kind of books. He's got a few sort of things to do with like interesting comical definitions of stuff. So that's an example of one of these. I don't know if it's the kind of book that you would read from cover to cover, so maybe this is not the right one for the challenge, but that's the kind of thing you might find here. This one is one that I picked up from a library, which I found interesting. Call number is 425.55, and it's called What's Your Pronoun? Beyond He and She by Dennis Barron. And Dennis Barron has also put his pronouns there, so it's he, him, and his pronouns. So this is kind of like to do with, like, it's a gender studies kind of situation, but it's also just looking at what kind of pronouns are out there, what different pronouns do people use, like how did we arrive at the pronouns he and she, you know, perhaps also looking at the past and things like that, you know, different pronouns that might have been used in the past. So that's what this book is all about. Then I've got this one, which is the Oxford Dictionary of Rhyming Slang by John Ayto, 427.09. if you're into rhyming slang, this could be the book for you. It looks kind of fun. Let me give you a good example. Okay, here is so I'm in the section called Household Matters, and we've got the rhyming slang for stairs is apples and pears. It says it's arguably the archetypal piece of Cockney rhyming slang and the one which people who know no other can always quote. I wouldn't have said so, but okay. It's first recorded in the 1850s in the form apple and pears, but by the 20th century, the plural apples had become established. So it just gives examples of that as well. And then they've also got other examples of rhyming slang for stairs specifically. Fred stairs, stocks and shares, troubles and cares. So there you go. An interesting little look at how rhyming slang came to be and sort of like origins of different phrases. This one's from my husband's collection. The call number is 428.1, and actually I've got a few books for this call number to show you, 4 in fact. So this one is called I Is an Other, The Secret Life of Metaphor and How It Shapes the Way We See the World by James Geary. So this is all about metaphors. This is another book from my husband's collection with the same call number, 428.1, and it's called L is for Lollygag, Quirky Words for a Clever Tongue. So it's a similar sort of, thing that's kind of exploring language, I guess, is the main thing. So it's got words like gravy train, gumshoe, gumption. Hello to all my Gumption Club pals. So this is what gumption. This is what you get when you mix courage and initiative and add a smidge of recklessness. Also see chutzpah and moxie. So that's a good one there. Another one with the 428.1 call number is The Little Book of Lost Words, Collywobbles, ultracrepidarian, and other surprisingly useful terms worth resurrecting by Joe Gillard. Then this one just has the best title I've ever heard, and it is also 428.1, Words That Go Ping. So obviously this is a book about onomatopoeia. So The Ridiculously Wonderful World of Onomatopoeia by Barbara Lasser. Lasser? Hopefully that's the correct pronunciation. So great title. Great title. Well done, Barbara. And then the last book I've got for you from the 420s is this one that is due back at the library today, hence why I'm filming right now. So it is called Semicolon, How a Misunderstood Punctuation Mark Can Improve Your Writing, Enrich Your Reading, and maybe even change your life. Well, there you go. So this is all about semicolons and like how that particular punctuation mark could change your life. Hopefully for the better. Okay, so that's it for the 420 books that I'm going to show you today. Then we move into the 430s, which is, and here's where we're getting into specific languages. So most of the books that you're going to find in your library that are, unless you live in a country where this is your main language, are going to mostly be books that are like dictionaries, travel dictionaries, etc., on various languages. So the 430s is all about German and related languages. So all of those sort of same kind of, what would you call it, subcategories that we had for English are also here for German, so same sort of thing. French and related languages, same sort of thing as the 440s. 450s is Italian, Romanian and related languages. So that's all there in the 450s. 460s is Spanish, Portuguese, Galician. The Gallic languages. I am not sure how do you say that word. I hope I said it right. So that's in the 460s. The 470s is Latin and Italic languages. And then 480s is classical and modern Greek languages. And then, of course, our favourite catch-all, because as we know that the Dewey Decimal System is very Eurocentric, very English-speaking world-centric. So, of course, we've had all of these European languages, and then 490, other languages. So all other languages belong here. Never mind the long traditions that have existed around the world with languages that are not European. Anyway, so that's where I've got a couple more books to show you. So the 490s is other languages, and this one is divided a little bit more differently to the others. So most of the others are sort of have the same kind of structure in their subcategories, but here the subcategories are different regions of the world and different language groups. So we've got 491 is East Indo-European and Celtic languages. 492 is Afro-Asiatic languages. 493, non-Semitic Afro-Asiatic languages. Look, you get the idea. It just kind of breaks it down into different things. So we've got a section for African, North American, South American, and then the 499s, which is where I'm interested, because that's where we've got non-Austronesian languages of Oceania, Austronesian languages, miscellaneous languages, the good old miscellaneous. So here I've got 3 books to show you. Actually, one of them is just from the from 491.99, because it's to do with an East Indo-European and or Celtic language. And that is a book from my husband's collection that he is very, very interested in, called The Decipherment of Linear B by John Chadwick, 2nd edition. There you go. So this is, again, I believe, to do with similar to the Rosetta Stone, so translating an ancient sort of language, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And that's to do with, you know, archaeology and so on. Call number is 491.99. And then I have 2 books that are to do with Aboriginal English, Aboriginal languages and Aboriginal English. So the first one is called Australia's Original Languages by R.M.W. Dixon, an introduction. The call number is 499.15. And this is a book all about the distinct languages that were spoken around Australia. So they're saying about 250 distinct languages at the time of colonisation were spoken across the continent. Yet Australian Indigenous languages actually share many common features. So Bob Dixon has been working with elders to research Australian languages for half a century, and he draws on this deep experience to outline the common features. He provides a straightforward introduction to the sounds, word building, and wide-ranging vocabulary of Indigenous languages, and highlights distinctive grammatical features. He explains how language is related to culture, including kinship relationships, gender systems, and naming conventions. So he's got lots of examples in here and lots of technical terms and so on. So this is basically, if you're looking to learn about any Australian Aboriginal languages, this could be a really interesting book to start that journey. The last one that I have to show you is a dictionary. So this is the Aboriginal English Dictionary, put out by Oxford some time ago by J.M. Arthur. This is a book that my library has had for a long, long time, or the library I got it from, because it's, so it was published in 1996, but basically this book is like in the they don't put labels on the books like this anymore. So this book has been around for a while. So 499.6 is the call number for this one, which is weird because 499.6. No, that's right. 499.6. I was thinking about 496. I'm like, it's not an African language. It's okay. It's in 499. So yeah, that is Aboriginal English. So those are the books. That is the 400s category. I hope you found this video interesting. Love to hear from you down in the comments below if you would like to share what you're planning to read for the 400s. I think this is kind of an interesting one, and I think it's the kind of category that you will either have a bunch of stuff in or nothing in because it's like a special interest for you, or you are learning a particular language. But again, like, you're not going to read a whole dictionary of like German if you're learning German, for example. So yeah, like, this is an interesting category that I think some people might find quite challenging to find a book that they're interested in to read. I have not yet decided what I'm going to read for this category. So lots and lots of options though, looking at my big stack of books. So I hope you found something interesting in this video, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you down in the comments what books you're going to be reading for the 400 section. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.